peoples off the tube, and welcome to this. So it's been Doctor Who week for more than a week so far. This is the slow bit of Doctor Who week. The rest should be more interesting. Unless you've enjoyed this bit of Doctor Who week and you hate the next bit, in which case the next bit should be less interesting. And something I don't mention very often, certainly not often enough, is my Doctor Who themed calendar on the wall behind me, because I've just changed it today, and it's been up for all of the year. We're into December now, of course. It's the 1st of December. It's not the official Doctor Who calendar. I've had that last year and the year before. This one is the females of Doctor Who, because females. And I think this month's picture is probably my favourite one of the whole calendar. I mean, they're all nice pictures, but I like this month's one. So this month's picture is of Sarah Sutton, who played Nyssa in the classic series alongside Peter Davison from about 1981 to 1983, and she is my favourite companion. She did previously appear on the calendar in June. There's probably a clip somewhere of her in at least one of my videos. If so, here it is.
Oh, got me. I'm not ready. Go it off.
You see that? She was behind me. I'm assuming that I actually found a clip. If not, I don't know what I just showed you. But of the two, I think I prefer this one. It's smiley and it's a nice picture. And I like the fact that my calendar is Sarah Sutton for both my birthday and for Christmas. And why is she my favourite companion? I don't know. I like her. She's the first companion that I saw in the show that didn't annoy me. Because the way I worked through the show was I started with the new series with Eccleston, and I watched a year of that with Rose, and then I watched a year of Tennant and Rose, you, of course, being awful. And then I got into the classic series, starting with Castrovalva, which is Peter Davison's one, where he has his companions being Nyssa, and Adric. I don't think I need to explain what the problem is with that. And also Tegan, and although I do like Tegan, I find her a bit annoying in her first year on the show, which is that year. So overall, Nyssa's I like Nyssa a lot. And I feel like she's a bit overshadowed in the show, because while she's there, she's sharing the TARDIS with noisy Tegan and annoying Adric, and later on we've got trying to kill the Dr. Turlough. She sort of gets pushed into the backgrounds in people's minds, but not in mine. Not in mine. She also takes most of her clothes off in her last story, but that's unrelated to what I was just saying. So the big question on everyone's mind, and by everyone I mean no one, is what I've been doing to celebrate the anniversary, or rather what I was doing, because we've kind of passed the anniversary now. And that is what I am going to say once I move over there. Well, for most of the year I've had a sort of re-watch of stories, because, I mean, by Christmas last year, in fact quite a while before then, I had seen all the stories that had been made up to that point. I mean, all the surviving ones. We won't get into the issue of missing episodes, maybe another time, or maybe not. But this is besides the point. I'd seen every surviving story made up until that point. So New Year into the start of this year. So it was more a sort of re-watching. Obviously we had 8 new episodes, 9 if you include the anniversary special. So I was re-watching stories. I thought to myself, what will I do? I will watch the best story for every Doctor, I will watch the worst story for every Doctor, and I'll watch 2 for each that I haven't seen in a long time. Although, again, it didn't quite work that way. I ended up, I could not bring myself to watch The Web Planet or the Colony in Space. I did watch The Web Planet in the end. Colony in Space I still haven't rewatched. I sort of drifted off that plan and then just started watching any story that took my fancy. I watched through most of my DVD collection, which is about 49 of them. This is just classic series. I mean, I watched a few odd new series ones. I prefer the classic series to the new series. New series is fine.
Just prefer the old ones.
So, over the course of the last year, I have watched, by last year I mean this year, up until this point, up to and including yesterday, this year I have watched 362 episodes. That's almost, well, we're not even 362 days into the year. But if I got through the year, if I watched 3 more episodes, then this year I will have averaged an episode a day. I'm going to watch another 6 episodes tomorrow. Not 6 random, 6, a 6-part story. So yes, that's, I'm kind of getting, what was I saying? 362 episodes. And 343 of those were from the classic series, 1963 to 1996, I suppose, you define that as, and 19 of them were from the revived series from 2005 onwards. And what did I think of the anniversary special? I liked it! I thought it was nice. That's why I was quoting bits of it in yesterday's video. I think Tom Baker turning up at the end was sort of the highlight for me. I think that sort of made it for me. I've heard people saying, "Oh, I don't understand. Who is he supposed to be?" That's not the point. It's a sort of symbolic gesture. He's not playing the Fourth Doctor as such, or maybe he is, but he's there and he shakes the Doctor's hand and says, "Congratulations," and it's just really, really nice. It's like a sort of slightly out of the fourth wall moment where like a proud parent saying, "You did well," and we did well. I also really enjoyed the Adventure in Space and Time. I didn't get to watch that until Sunday of the week, because it was broadcast on the Thursday. I didn't watch that until Sunday. I had a massive Doctor Who binge on the 23rd, which is the reason I never got my 11 Doctors finished for then, or indeed for now. On the day itself, I watched Tomb of the Cybermen, which is a brilliant story. I mean, I'll assume that you've seen it, because about 50% of my viewers are me. Tomb of the Cybermen, I watched Death to the Daleks, which is okay. It's John Pertwee, so he's my favourite Doctor. It's the only 4-part John Pertwee story I haven't seen this year. And I didn't have time for a 6-part one because of my schedule. And then to completely contradict the no time for 6-parters, I then watched Talons of Weng Chiang, which is a 6-parter. But I wanted to see that one because it's like the best story ever, nearly. It's amazing. And Robert Holmes wrote it. Brilliant! Wow! And then I watched Caves of Androzani, which is also Robert Holmes, and is also pretty much the best story ever. There are lots of stories that are the best story, and they are all the best. So after that 8-hour, just almost non-stop Doctor Who watching, I did take a little break somewhere in there between Death to the Daleks and Talons to have my lunch. By that point it was about 5 o'clock. Had a little break. I watched An Unearthly Child, just the first episode, not the serial, but the episode. I watched that at 16 minutes past 5, 16 minutes and 20 seconds past 5, because I'm terribly pedantic like that. And after that I watched the anniversary special. Oh no, I watched the TV movie. I was so hyped on Doctor Who that I thought to myself, I don't think anything could seem bad right now. To try and prove this to myself, I watched the TV movie, and I actually enjoyed it. That was how sort of it's what I would imagine. Like, if someone who was into the drugs took all the drugs, that's what they would be like. Maybe. One other story I'm going to mention that I didn't watch on the anniversary but watched in the lead up to the anniversary is City of Death, because if someone were to just watch one classic series story to try and get into the classic series, then that is the one to see. It is so good. I don't know if I've appreciated before that point. I mean, I've seen it a ton of times, but it's just so good. It's so good. It's only let down by slightly bad looking set for there's one of the sets. I won't go into depth as to what the plot's about, but they end up in sort of a primordial Earth, and the set for that isn't hugely convincing. But the rest of it, all the stuff in Paris, and it's brilliant. I mean, I would say that it almost feels like something from nowadays, except the stuff from nowadays isn't that good. So it stands up to modern day viewing, I think is the correct phrase. So after that ramble on Doctor Who based things, I'm probably going to finish speaking now. There were a few other scenes that were supposed to be in the Doctor Who miscellany, but they didn't get used because I needed to record them and someone was making calls on the phone to prevent me from recording them. Yeah, you know who you are. They'll probably turn up tomorrow, maybe, or not tomorrow. I don't know. I'm watching Reign of Terror tomorrow. I've never seen that before. Either way, stay tuned for the exciting half of Doctor Who week. Should that happen, Doctor Boat is definitely going to be a thing, and 11 Doctors also a thing. Maybe some other Doctor Who things. Who knows? Who knows? Until then, thanks for watching, and have a nice week! No, I don't want it in French.